people on campus, welcome people online. I'm going to share with you some things about our industry instead of playing a game. I'm also going to move this microphone forward so I don't have to yell, because I'm not good at yelling. Okay, unless it's at my children, and now they're too old. I'm a huge fan of podcasts and streaming Netflix shows. So my favorite podcast right now is My Favorite Murder, and I sprung for a VIP ticket last week or 2 weeks ago in Nashville, and I got to do a backstage meet and greet and all that, and I really feel like sometimes now, because I've listened to them so much, these two girls that are crazy, I feel like I've started to talk like them. So they're always like, hello and welcome. This is the My Favorite Murder podcast. But, oh no, that's not what this is. This is the award ceremony. Welcome everybody to spring 2019. Just shake your head. You know, it's always inside with me. Go down a little crazy rabbit hole. All right. So, instead of a game, we're going to talk about the court reporting industry. And so, you guys, can you tell me, what do you think the top 10 skills of the best court reporters are? Organization. We got at least 9 more. Time management, at least 8 more. Punctuation, absolutely 7 more. Good listening. Good listening skills, all right, 6 more. Come on, you guys, you got them. You're like, what? Don't call me. Top 10 skills of the best court reporters. Is anybody typing in from our online folks? Fernando? Yes? No? No?
No.
All right. Please enter your information. Y'all are participating in this award ceremony. Come on, let's get on it. All right. Top 10. Accuracy. Excellent. What else?
Organization.
Somebody said organization, but that's always good to say it. Punctuality for sure. All right. Let's hit it. Punctuality, number 1. I feel like David Letterman there. Confidentiality. Why is that so important? You are the guardians of the record. Absolutely. You cannot say what you heard in court. You can't tell the juicy divorce story when you get home after deposition. It's definitely a no-no. All right? Business etiquette, what do you think that is?
Professional.
Professional attire, or dressing appropriately. What else?
Speech.
Your speech and your diction, for sure. What else? Your posture, for sure. And what about just shaking hands and looking people directly in the eye when you meet them and say hi with a firm handshake, not a little handshake. Handshake. That goes a long way. And you need business cards so you can hand them out. You're going to be getting a lot of business cards. Gentlemen, do you have anything to add to professional etiquette?
Don't cuss like a sailor, and don't bring up your religious or political views.
Don't talk about religion or politics. Also good.
Yeah.
That's it? You covered all yours? Gosh. That's right. Okay. Grammar, punctuation, and proofreading for sure. We're going to talk about why that's important a little bit in 2 more minutes. What about assertiveness?
Do you want a copy?
That's right.
You want a copy.
You do want a copy.
So you guys online might not be able to hear this, but Shauna said, do you want a copy? But Todd corrected her and said, you want a copy. So be assertive. But also, what are the other moments when you might be assertive as a court reporter?
Can you speak up?
That's right. Can you speak up? I can't hear you. What else?
Talking over each other.
Right, when people are talking over each other. Or
Slow down.
when someone's talking too fast. Because it's your role as the keeper of the record, if it's just rushing on past you, you're not going to do the right spot of the job. So you get to manage your own environment to a degree, for sure. So don't forget that. You have a right to be assertive, okay? Time management, that was already mentioned. Think about this, if your favorite thing is to take down, you probably need to hire some people to support you, scopists, proofreaders, you know, more on the production side, because if that's what you wanna do, then, you know, if you only take down when you're ever gonna edit, transcribe, et cetera, and there are rules and regulations about how long you have in order to submit a transcript. As we talked about earlier today, what happens to you if you don't submit it on time, Eric?
They don't have a whole lot of use for it.
Yeah. And what else can happen?
You'll get blackballed.
And I also have heard like fines and incarceration.
That's what the judge is calling for. If the judge starts saying, I need it by such and such date, and that date doesn't come out, they'll issue out a bench warrant for your arrest and put you in jail until you get it done.
So you guys online might not have been able to hear this, but if you are an official and the judge is calling for a transcript and tells you a day to have it done, if you don't provide it, you can be issued a bench warrant and go to jail. So nobody wants that, right? That's right. Only one time, and then you'll be on time every now. But by that point, people are done with you, because everybody knows you don't turn in things on time. Okay, customer service. Why is that important?
It goes with business etiquette, how you conduct yourself, how you interact with people, and how to keep business coming in.
Absolutely, absolutely. You want to service your customers in a way that will make them want to keep coming back. And that's true for a lot of industries, but for sure, court reporting. Okay? Writing skills. Can you write real time? Why is that important?
Get paid more.
It's all about the money sometimes. But for sure, the more accurate you are, the better your writing skills are, the quicker you can turn transcripts around. So that's why it's very important for you to be a good, clean writer early on. All right? And professional presentation. We talked about your dress. So it's everything. It's what you're wearing. It's how you enter the courtroom or the deposition. It's what your hair looks like. It's everything. You know, are you perky and alert? Are you, it's everything that has to do with your physical appearance. Because people will take one look at you and decide, and you might not never work with that attorney again. Or, there's just a lot of biases that you're unaware of, so don't give anybody a reason to not want you to be on their team. Right? Okay. All right. Carrying on. So, some of you might have heard this before. And it is a neuropsychologist who was in a deposition talking about the intricacies of the human brain, and he was talking specifically about a court reporter's brain. So this is what he had to say. The neuropsychologist says, may I give an example of this? And counsel says, sure. The neuropsychologist says, okay, if you look, and the example is this, our brains are a miracle, okay? They're a miracle that needs to be protected. And if you look at that court reporter right now as an example, this is a miracle in progress happening right before your eyes. Let me just explain what she needs to do. I'm speaking, so the information has to come through her ear, into her temporal lobe, where it has to log itself into the language center. She has to be able to comprehend what I'm saying. Then it has to get rerouted to the prefrontal cortex, where it has to hold. She has to be able to hold the information because, I'm continuously talking, so she has to hold it, right? Then she has to analyze it, integrate it, and synthesize it. And then it has to go back to the cerebellum, and she has to be able to execute this. She has to then be able to convert my words into those little squiggly marks. Okay, that was when it was like true shorthand. Translate it to current time, either steno or voice. Okay. Have you ever seen court reporters have those little squiggly language things? So she has to convert it into a different language, and the white matter tracks allow her to reroute all of this information simultaneously without effort. It is seamless. We take our brains for granted. She sitting there, and I'm probably talking too fast for her, but she's able to do this simultaneously. No animal on the planet can do this. That's why I believe court reporters will never be replaced, because no technology can ever replace the beauty of the brain and the miracle of that brain. And that's why your brain should always be protected, and you should take care of it. So congratulations, you guys have that special brain. It's highly lauded. Neuropsychologist said so. All right. 10 reasons why I love my career as a court reporter. First reason, it's recession-proof and in high demand. What do you think that means?
Always have a job, no matter what.
Absolutely. Always going to have a job. And there's a million different places, not a million, but a bunch of different places that you can work as a court reporter. Not only in the courtroom, not only in a deposition setting, you can also work taking down high-level corporate meetings. You can work taking down, I know we were talking to Gracia this morning, and she's done some takedowns over at the Shepherd Spinal Center where they were using a round table of people discussing different physical assistive devices, and she was saying that part of the challenge of that is that people talk over each other all the time. But there's captioning, there's so many.
The most interesting I ever heard of was Robert Ludlum, who wrote all the Bourne Identity and the rest of the
Read 'em.
Bourne books. He used to pace around his office and just compose off the top of his head, and he had a court reporter there who took it all down.
That is awesome. So
And
he
then
was,
she made a fortune.
so he was writing a book using a court reporter. That's amazing. So you just never know where that's going to take you. And we definitely know that there's a shortage worldwide, and definitely in the U.S., especially in Georgia, of court reporters. So you guys have unlimited earning potential and just immense hireability potential. I know that you hear us say that all the time, but I think you can believe it, because you've seen people who, you know, have come through our school and are out there working right now, and it was all we could do to hold off the firms until somebody got ready to be graduated instead of exiting as soon as they got to like 180 or something. Okay, you also have a high income potential, and there's some things I want you all to think about. When you're looking for a job, if you're looking at officialship in the court setting, you might see that their annual salary might be $45,000 to $60,000, something like that. But where's the real money made? In your transcripts, because you know you charge by the page. So one of the benefits of being an official is most of the time, there are some exceptions, but most of the time you have all the fun things like vacation and 401k and insurance. And so those are also, you can also add that to the salary base, and then of course getting paid for your transcripts. We already talked about that you can work in a variety of settings, and I think that is super cool, especially if you're, you know, taken down from Robert Ludlum. Flexible working hours, so especially if you're a freelance person, you can decide what days and hours you want to work. That's something that's unheard of now. I mean, if you have a 9-to-5 job, guess what? It's 9 to 5. Done, right? There's not a lot of flexibility. Okay. Also, you can take a lot of pride in, wait a minute, skip something. Oh, longevity. All right. So, I know a number of court reporters, and Art, you can probably speak to this, but court reporters tend to stay in the industry for a really long time. I mean, what's the longest court reporting career you've ever heard of?
You know, Martha Hufstetler, who teaches here at night, has been a reporter for 35 years.
Yeah.
That's pretty common.
Yeah, for sure. Because people love their job so much, they just don't want to leave it, so there's a lot of good longevity. There's also the interaction with the people. So you get to know a lot of the influential people in your community. You see kind of the other side of influential people when you're in a courtroom, or you see the deadbeat dads or whatever. It's just super interesting. The other thing is every time you take something down, you have the potential to learn something about something you've never thought of before. So it might be a biomedical expert deposition. You're gonna learn all about, you know, a Medtronic pain pump, or, I mean, there's just, you could step into any kind of a situation and you're always gonna have something to learn, so that's super fun. And that keeps your job fresh every day, because you're gonna learn things. Okay. Mastery. All right. Once you've been in the field for a minute and you kind of get your feet on the ground, there's a lot of pride to be taken in the fact that you've mastered this really hard skill. Only a teeny tiny percentage of working people in the U.S. have those skills. So you can be super proud, and having that mastery is super important. It can give you a sense of like self-esteem. And the longer you work, the better you're gonna get. And so you just keep growing inside that job, and the sky's the limit. So that's also super fun.
And I know May is certification month, and CRA, they're pushing that. So if you get your certification, get your advanced certification too, because that equals more money as well, because the firm will say if you're an RMR, or if you're certified real time, they'll pay you more.
Absolutely. So keep on getting those letters behind your name.
Because the best time to do it is while you're in that testing mode out of school, because if you wait 10 years and you're like lose speed, or you're not in that test mode, it's gonna be harder to pass. So get all your degrees and certifications while you can.
Absolutely. Alphabet Soup pays a lot of money, I'm just saying. Once you get all the alphabet things behind your name, definitely. Okay, what do you think would be great about having a sense of purpose? What is your sense of purpose as a court reporter? What?
They can't-
So, Shauna said because you make a lot of money, but what she really meant was that you are the keeper of the record, and that carries a huge amount of responsibility. That is a huge piece of what our judicial system is about. And so, yes, you feel part of something bigger than you, for sure. Also, autonomy is a big deal. Why do you think why is autonomy good? Does anybody know what autonomy means?
No. Here, well, no.
That's audiometry, and it's not anatomy either. So autonomy means you work independently, you work by yourself, and
Oh, right.
the court reporter is kind of there, off to the side, just doing her thing, and she can engage as much as she feels like she needs to, or she can just not really engage like with what the proceedings are. But she can, you can turn your brain, or can turn her brain, his brain off and on to participate as much as she wants to have her fully conscious mind participating, or he, trying to be politically correct just for you, Ron, since you're that solo
I'm
dude.
so used to it now that I don't
Okay.
think about it.
None of your head. Okay. All right, and then what do you think residual income is?
After you retire and you still get money from transcripts.
What my dad calls mailbox money, like you don't even know you're gonna get it. And so, yes, you have to maintain a file of your transcript for a certain number of years. How many years, guys? Okay, so I would hang on, I would get a big drive, separate drive, to hang on to everything you've ever done, because you never know when a transcript might be ordered, and guess what? You get charged for those pages all over again. So you just never know when cases come up for appeal, or, there's just a lot of different situations where they might need a copy of that transcript you did 3, 4, 7, 10 years ago. So that's also super cool.
What's 10? That's 9.
What's 10? Oh. You're the only person that noticed that. I probably skipped some.
You're sitting up straight.
It was so fun.
Okay, I think, gosh, I don't know.
Ribbon hiding,
Oh, was it flexible working hours?
Oh, that's fine, that's fine.
Okay, so we already talked about
Yeah.
that kind of anyway. Flexible working hours, so you can choose what days and times that you're available to your firm. Okay, last thing. A day in the life of a court reporter. So, we did a guessing game earlier today at our first award ceremony. How many pages of transcripts do you think of a transcript was produced during the O.J. Simpson trial?
Oh my gosh, way too many.
A lot.
Over
A
10,000?
lot.
I mean, you.
I would say, can I do
How many? No millions.
10,000, over 10,000?
Over 10,000.
How about
50,000.
50,000?
Not 50, 50
Close.
close.
What's the big deal?
1,200 pages.
Oh, okay.
1,200 pages. And-
1,200, that's it?
Oh, I'm sorry, 12,000.
Sorry.
Sorry, I missed the decimal.
3 quarter quarters, so over 10,000.
So it took a team of court reporters because they wanted real time, they wanted daily. So they were tag teaming in and out of the courtroom because it was grueling.
And how much is it
Do
per
they-
page?
So the higher the level of the court is, the more you can charge per page.
In Georgia, it's $6 a page. But the thing is, once you're paid that, you don't own the transcript anymore. So if they need more copies, you don't get money. But as a freelancer, you do. Anytime somebody wants copies, they pay you.
And to relate the story that you told earlier
I
today.
used to do cruises for court reporting CEUs, continuing education. A few years ago, we were all sitting around the table on the ship having dinner, and one of the reporters was telling about a trial she had done, and it was a murder trial, and there were a total of 9,000 pages in the trial, and she produced it all herself. She did not pay a scopist or a proofreader. She did it all. And she made $36,000 on one trial, but she said she would never do it again. She would pay somebody to help.
So
Wow.
Eric's doing quick math over here. He already figured out that was $4 a page, not $6 a page.
Well, this was freelance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and they kind of changed things. They pay more per page now because they do buy the transcript. I mean, it's something that's happened in the last few years to try to solve the problem of trying to find that court reporter who retired and moved off to another state, and now they need the transcript. Now it goes to the clerk of the court, and they distribute it, becomes their property that way. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And reporters like that better, from what I understand, because they get paid. They're getting paid now from the county instead of from the lawyer. So they get their guaranteed paycheck, so they like that better. Sometimes lawyers
They won't pay you?
don't
Or
pay.
wait.
I mean, that's just like any business. Sometimes they don't run the business very well.
Absolutely. So, we talked a little bit earlier about how important it is to be accurate and have your grammar on point, your punctuation on point, your proofreading on point. Because in this article, it pointed out that unqualified court reporters usually lose all referrals with the first or second incident that arises from carelessness. So you cannot be careless, you can't do a slapdash job, you gotta be super focused and make sure that when your work is submitted, it's good stuff. So there's a lot of stress in court reporting because you can get super involved in what's going on. You know, I've heard people talk about child abuse cases and, you know, really gory murder details and things like that. And if you let it invade your consciousness, it can definitely cause you to be stressed out. Also, producing a transcript can be pretty stressful. One of the keys that this article points out is that you need to find a way to kind of get into like a Zen mode or get into the flow. And so you're hearing it and it's flowing to your output, but you're not even participating in it. Because as we've talked about before, you know, your brain likes to do zombie systems. So the better you are at taking down, so you don't do so much of the thinking while you're doing it, you can kind of step back and get in that zen zone and pretty much reduce a good bit of your stress. Because I know a challenge is not to become too emotional during some of those things, or to nod along, or like, that's ridiculous, or whatever. No, you have to shut all that off. So, that's just a little hint for your future. Also, it does talk a lot about how important it is to be certified and have advanced certifications. And then it had a little note that the first formalized trials were in ancient Greece, and that's the first time that there's a record of literally a scribe or a court reporter, so that was a long time ago. This is a proud profession. It's been around a long, long time ago.
They just had to chisel.
Yeah, they had a rock and a chisel and a big hammer. It was tough, man. Yeah.
One word.
Trials lasted for years.
Yeah,
before papyrus.
that's why it's called ancient Greece. Yeah, no. Also, I don't know when, this is from the Princeton Review. I don't really see a date of this article, but it talks later on about how, the occupation is gonna stay super stable and, that there's no possible way that voice recording is going to be viable, not even likely for another 40 or 50 years. Because you cannot take away the human element. Just having a voice recorded on a device is not the same thing as having a live human sitting in there with their eyes and ears on what's going on. So it's gonna be a while until that happens, so I know some people have raised questions about what about VR, is it gonna take over our jobs and whatever. Yes, VR might have a place in lower courts like traffic court, etc. Yes, but, you know, generally the high profile, very important cases are gonna need a live person there taking it all down. So that's all the encouraging news about court reporting. Anything to add, gentlemen?
I wanna be a court reporter and make some money.
Well, you can start now.
With good luck.
Alright, next button. Okay, it's time for awards, and because our largest student population is online currently, our online to on-campus balance is a little whoop. So, I'm just gonna spread the word to everyone. It's because there are so many more of them online than them on campus. So, without further ado, let's give away these awards, and just so you know, I'll have them mailed out to you probably by Monday. So, when your name's called, come on up and sign it if you're live. But see all these names? I already did it for everybody online. So, all right, carry on, gentlemen.
I will start.
Art will start.
Art, from the start.
So these are theory. Shall I?
Which one?
Just do whatever you wanna do.
Okay. Voice theory, these are for last quarter. So Dorothy Craig completed theory.
Online.
Sheila Jones. Kate Lee. Natalia Pais. Natalia. Here's to you. Okay, those are the voice theory, and the STEM Ed theory certificates go to Norma Rodriguez, Cherie Salivio, sorry, Gina Shaw, Keisha Whitaker, LaTanya Yarbrough, and then steno theory.
We're being so polite and clapping like we're at the opera or something. Understand, in our hearts, we are doing that. That's right, Julie Roberts, and her coconut dress.
And then we have two people who finished 60, passing to 80, and that is Sante Roundtree and Tina Milton. And I don't want to hog the stage here, so I'm going to turn it over to my assistant.
We'll join in.
Whichever one
I did great.
take over.
Oh, come on.
Y'all made me do the whole thing.
Really?
That's not good.
I'm not good at pronouncing names, though.
I object, Your Honor.
These are students steno students who passed 80 words per minute. First one, these are online. First one is Rebecca Frick. Abby Fisher. Monica Frost. because she's in my class on Monday night, so. Call my, mispronounce my name, I don't care. These are for 140, and, this could be steno or voice, there's no way to tell the difference, but Linda Cantor.
Hi, Linda Cantor.
Alejandro Felder. And Selenia Greenfield.
No, you did the whole thing in the state.
They knock it out. Probably did a bunch during the day, and I sat there and didn't do anything. Yeah, here's somebody that's here, who's not here, but she goes to school here at night. She's going tonight. Termika Mitchell.
Tamika Tuesday.
Tamika, sorry, I know that, not Termika. There's an R that you don't say.
Don't say it. And she actually works for the Federal Reserve. She is a security person there, and she got mandatorily sent somewhere on the coast of Georgia to become like an executive body protector person, because a lot of the national Federal Reserve people come right down here to the Federal Reserve, which is just a couple of blocks away, and she's going to be trained to be like a bodyguard for the higher ups in the Federal Reserve, which is and that's where she is. Excused absent. 100%.
Oh, that's the story she made up.
Right.
It's unique at least. 160 back online, Linda Cantor. I'm assuming these are boys because we're going through multiple upper speeds, and we
Right.
know that with steno that's
Right.
that's an aberration if that happens.
Just say my name.
160 also, Alejandro Felder. I'm going to go with Danilo Platel. Wrong, I'm sorry, I think that's right. Stacy Smith. That's the one I probably said wrong.
It's to thought.
Selenia Greenfield. Oh, this is a, wait a minute, this is a Daycom person who was here today, but we didn't say this. Unless we did. Angela Sanders.
Angie?
You know, she went home mad today.
Yes.
No, she's good. She just went home. There's this hanging out up here, but it was only one, so I don't know if it was supposed to be traded out.
Somebody's name was that twice.
I believe that was
Okay.
Tamika.
We're doing some 180s.
Woohoo!
And I'll do the online ones first since there's two. So somebody's passing all the speeds. Selenia Greenfield, 180. Slow down. Tina Miles. All right, somebody that's finally here. 180. Michelle Monroe.
Take your bow. Take your bow. S-H-A.
I was about to say, you're a shoe-in since you're the only name, but I think I've been online before.
Show up.
225.
With that fast.
Only 3 more speeds to go
Claim it.
to get, because with the lowering of the speed testing to 95, we've raised the speed to 300.
Whoa.
We didn't say
Not
that.
for
We
Santa.
didn't
Not for
say that
Santa.
part.
I didn't get that for the voice. Just the voice.
Yeah. All right, yeah, online, 225, Ashley Duell. Question here. Michelle Parks.
Oh, that was a good one.
Jill Richardson.
Jill Richardson online.
Oh, wait a minute. This one, well, I'm sorry, Joel Riverston, you would be really surprised if we got 225 because this really reads, finished steno theory.
Oh, wow.
But you were in the
Put it out,
sack.
sorry.
Right.
Project him.
Come on, people.
I know.
All right, well, congrats, and sorry you got left out on the earlier one. And congrats on 225.
Just because you said it doesn't mean it's true. I just want to throw that out there. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw for our participant thing. $25 Amazon gift card. And just because our friend Ron is the solo male representative of all men in our school right now, we're going to let you draw. Thank you. And the winner is LaTanya Yarborough. Congratulations. Okay. All right, so students of the quarter. From campus, it was Ivory Brewer. She's a day student, and because she's zipping on through things, doing really well. And Chris Tomko also passed Tuesday last quarter, I think, as a steno writer, 6080. Is he another thing? Yes.
Yay.
So, I know, that went really fast. And so, okay. So, we have our online voice student of the quarter is LaTanya Heron. LaTanya lives in Mississippi. She is sight impaired, and she is doing an amazing job. We are probably the only school in the country who is using voice writing theory and Dragon and Eclipse for someone who's sight impaired. We have several students who are in the steno program and are moving through that are also sight impaired. So just imagine, you guys, when you think about how tough your life is right now and the obstacles that you might have to overcome, I mean, you can see, and you can get around, and you can do, some things that might be a bigger challenge for somebody than you. And the students being just super fantastic, and so congratulations. And our steno student is Ashley Barker. Congratulations. Ashley got nominated by a couple of her instructors and talked about how hard she works and how much she practices and how punctual she is and her attendance is great. She's just got the right attitude, so she's going the direction that she needs to go in. Now, just because I can, I've decided to nominate another special student of the quarter. She was on campus last quarter, but now she's online. And I really felt like she deserved some sort of recognition because this beautiful woman gave birth and was back in class in 2 days. And she did not miss a beat after that. So, congratulations. This is just from me, Kiara Jackson.
Go, Kiara!
That's a lot to ask of someone, for sure. Anyway, congratulations, everybody. And I'm going to leave you with this thought. You guys can see and read for yourself, but I'm going to read it anyway. Good things come to people who wait, but better things come to people who go out and get them. So go out and get something good. All right. Thanks, online folks. Thanks, on-campus folks. Thank you, instructors, for everything that you guys do. And we'll see you next time.